Okay, hey everybody, how's it going? Get a little bit earlier today so I don't have a video made in the middle of the night like I've been doing before. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about there's two things you got to do to be successful on YouTube. And I'm not a big YouTuber. My daughter's a big YouTuber. You can check out her channel. I think she's getting ready to clear almost 300,000 subscribers. But she's a big YouTuber, and so I get to see that side of it, and I also get to see a lot of the people she does videos with, which are huge YouTubers like FaZe Rug, FaZe Banks, and some of these other people that she, Rice Gum, some other people that she does videos with. So I kind of watch their channels too, and kind of know a little bit of the inside stuff about how they built them and a little bit what they do in order to be successful. Two things you got to do to be successful on YouTube. Number one is you got to post regularly, all the time, at least once a day. And number two, you got to ignore the people that dislike your videos or say negative comments about you. You just totally got to ignore it. It's just part of the game. It's part of the whole thing. And I read everything because I don't get very many comments, but I read comments, and a lot of times what people say about my videos is they say, oh, you're just one of those guys that live in California and you got this real liberal idea because you were from that wacko leftist state of California, and everybody out there is like a Fruit Loop, the land of nuts. And you see the Pacific Ocean behind me. And it's really funny how people have drawn that line. If you're from the Midwest, you're kind of like a conservative. And if you're from California or maybe the East Coast, you're a liberal, and you just don't, you're out of touch. But let me tell you something about me. I spent half my life in the Midwest. So I understand both areas. I understand the coast, and I also understand living in the Midwest too. And I don't think the things I think because of where I live. And anybody that thinks that's absolutely crazy. Nobody believes any certain thing because they live in a certain area. You believe the things you believe because of the things you believe, by your watching things and just making your own decisions about it, not by where you live. Where I live has nothing to do with what I believe. Because I live in California, it doesn't have anything to do with my dislike of Donald Trump, which I always think is kind of interesting. The second thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about these mega church guys, because Osteen, I always say Osteen, but I guess his name's Osteen. You know, I don't even really know. I mean, I see this guy on TV every now and then because he's so, he's got a lot of money. So he makes big appearances all over the TV, and he's always got this real toothy grin. Kind of looks like a Mr. Ed kind of person. He's got an elongated face, big toothy grin. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about Osteen, because one of the best videos I've seen lately on the internet is this video where this guy calls the prayer line at Osteen's church. And he starts talking to this lady, and he's just saying stuff to her like, well, how do I know my prayers are going to be answered? Just kind of really just not really being mean or rude, but just kind of messing with her a little bit. And this woman starts talking in tongues. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's in one of the trending videos. I can't remember what the guy's channel was. If I would remember it, I would tell you. But just check it out. Somebody calls Joel Osteen's prayer line. Just check it out on YouTube. You'll find it. But it's so funny because this lady breaks out into tongues. And she just starts gibbering and making all kinds of weird noises. And, starts pleading the blood of Jesus and all kinds of weird stuff. But anyway, I thought this was really funny because guys like Osteen, they prey on people's ignorance, and also they prey on people's being susceptible to their BS. And what I mean by their BS is, you call up, you're in sincere need of help, and you're looking for something outside of this world for help, which is why you call it prayer line. You're not calling it prayer line because you think Joel Osteen's going to give you any benefits, but you call it prayer line because you're hoping that there's some connection with the Almighty or with some higher power that's going to get you out of whatever problem, or give you some comfort or help you get through a difficult situation. And what do you get? You get these people like this lady that was talking in tongues. You get some people that are just going to basically tell you what you want to hear, and tell you, pray with you and tell you what you want to hear, and then tell you that God is with them, and by you calling them, you're getting a stronger connection with God. which is just all bullshit. I mean, there's no reason why, if you believe in God, you have to go through Joe Osteen's church to get any blessing. I mean, if you believe in God, you can do that without hanging out with Osteen or giving Osteen a bunch of money. I mean, Osteen's doing pretty well. I mean, you look at the house the guy lives in, and look at how well he's doing. I mean, he's doing really, really, really well. And he's doing well because a lot of people are gullible enough to believe that they got to go through him to get any answers from God. So please, don't believe that bullshit. This Osteen guy, I mean, he's kind of pisses me off. I mean, the guy comes off as this really nice, you know, happy-go-lucky, you know, everything's wonderful, you just got to believe, and, you know, mishy-mash bullshit. But then, you know, when it comes down to helping people out in flood, he can't do that. You know, and then after that, he can't even stand up for what it was that he said, and he's got to back off like he didn't say anything, you know, that was he didn't own what it is that he did. He should have just owned it. He said, hey, you know, I messed up. But instead he backs up. So I never did that. I never said any of that stuff. You know, I've always been a good guy. I've always wanted to give everybody, you know, I would never turn anyone away. Well, it sounds like you did, okay? It sounds like you did. So why don't you just own it, you know, and try to be a stand-up guy and realize that what you do is call people up and tell them, or have people call you and, you know, bullshit them with your prayer line and make people think that you got some sort of extra supernatural power. So anyway, I just want to make things into that. Sorry about the train. But that's about all I got to say tonight. Thanks a lot for watching.